Oh, if you're wondering, no, I have not gone to work out yet. I have not gone to work out yet. I already exercised though, but I'm resting before I go work out. I just got curious on the charts for a second, so I just figured I might as well do some quick scan through before I go work out. All right, we're gonna go back to where we was. Where were we? Not where. Where we was way back when. So it was here. So we've done up to here, right? We didn't use any POCs, we didn't use any yesterday's highs or lows. We just kind of kept going. I want to go and see what the fib will look like. So on this day here, there was no point to use the fib. Starting from the day, there was no volume here anyways. But I guess we no longer have gold, whatever. So starting from this day, there was no point to use the fib. So just the red line. At this point here, you want to short on the ES, so I've been an okay short if you took it here, but then you realize that I think we're just going over this thing again. But anyways, you're trying to long on the what's it called, NQ, short on the ES, on the NQ, we had this. So coming at 755, getting long here. We now have this area here, getting short here on ES. We now have this area here. We can go in long, right? So we go in long on the NQ right around after it tested there, either here risking 25 or down below. Regardless, we still take TP, so we get 50, and then we get a pullback again. Another short here, but we'll probably not take that. We're looking for 20 on this. We didn't get 20. Probably got break even. To get again 20s here this time around. But NQ, I guess we're looking for more than 50. We're looking for at least 75. So probably I've had to get out at 75 there or stop out at 50. Thinking maybe we should just do 3 hours instead of 4 from now on. And then obviously now so prior to this, we can obviously see what is the structure. We had the high, we had the low, we had the higher high, so we're still on an uptrend. Actually, because it was not a clean break, it wasn't much of a break. We'll call it consolidation, or we'll call it equal highs. So we have equal highs, but this low, and then we have a higher low. We're expected to make a higher high, so we'll probably not even touch the short here. Maybe close this one, break even, and not touch the short, expecting to make it higher, and then price pulls back. Then again, we still believe we're in the long. That's why I would get in the long. Probably not here. Maybe at this candle, or maybe at this point here. So maybe at this point on the NQ long, because we're expecting to break the highs now. So the NQ long at this point here, looking for at least 75. But once we get 75, put our stop at 50, and then we get 100. Right? That's what we like to do. If we got in here, we only got to 50. We didn't get 75. But if we got in here at this bottom one, we got 75. But there was no fib on this day, so no fib usage on this day. Well, just structure and price action, everything's all good. Like, you noticed what once this high happened, I'm not going to be thinking short anymore. I'm going to be thinking long. I'm not going to be thinking short. I mean, we barely broke the highs where I can go short, but otherwise, I would not be thinking short really. I was thinking long. And at this high, here, we could say, well, coming at this point, you'd say the NQ is long, right? So we short the ES, and then that high happens, and price doesn't break this prior high, but it breaks it on ES. So we'll say we're long on the ES now. So we'd have to switch it to long here, and we're short on the NQ. So when price goes back up, wait, all this switching thing, give me a second here. At this low on the day, we are long. We are long on NQ. No, we're long on ES. Because we started trading here, 755. This candle, looking at both of them, the ES goes down further than the NQ. Sorry, the Nasdaq goes further than the SPY. And then the next candle, the Nasdaq is actually bullish. And then the next candle after that, the Nasdaq continues to go up, while the SPY continues to go down. So coming here, we'll be like, okay, we're long on the SPY, short on the we're long on the Nasdaq, short on the SPY. And then this high happens, but it's more long on the ES because we actually had this break and this didn't break on the SPY, even though it should have been going up. Like, why is, yeah, so the long on ES from this high, and then when we get a pull down, we could have switched to the long here, or we could have held, now we could have probably switched to the long here, risking the low, right? Risking the low 10. Price goes here, we break even, most likely, because we expect the price to break. So why is price coming back down? So we don't get 20, obviously. Don't quite get 20. And then at this point, we're still long on the SPY, short on Nasdaq. So if we wanted, we could have tried a short here. We did expect price, but with the way we was trading, there's no reason why we shouldn't try a short. Especially at that black candle too, most likely. But if we don't, it's fine too. It's not the end of the world. So again, we'll make 2 hour on this one. And then I think we get, so if we took a short, basically like hedging it, then we'll leave this long to run. And once this broke this high, I can expect it to at least retest these highs, and depending on how it breaks, it may go a lot higher. So if we took that short as a hedge, we could what's it called, instead of leaving at 20, we could leave at maybe 30, so get the other 500 back, right? So there's that. But then otherwise we could just leave the take the short works and then let it run, kind of thing. But yeah, there's no fib for sure. That's for sure. There's no fib. And then at this point, we're still long on the ES and short on the Nasdaq. So even up to this point, we're still long on the ES. So we'll still be long on the ES and short on the Nasdaq. So long here. We're looking for the short on the Nasdaq would have been here. We do get a little bit of rejection, but there's no bearish price action. So you could easily tell that price wants to continue going up. Here was a little hard. There wasn't bearish price action here, but once it got higher, there was more bearish price action. So that's why we're like, is it going to go up or not? Alright, moving on. On this day here, is there any, there is a place to use the fib. So the first fib will be from here to here. Ideally, there is one here. So if, okay, let's leave this one here, and then let's add another here. Let's see how price reacts on each of these. So this one is literally at the red line. The 50% on this candle is literally at the red line. So that's for this one. So for this one, and then there is the last fib. There's 2 more fibs. This one was already used right here. So there's the last fib right there. That one's here, and then there was this one right here. This one was already used, right? And then there was this one here. But this one, what's it called? Lost. You could start it from here for one, and then the other one is literally just below. So that's is that too. Yeah, that one lost. These are the only place we got fibs, and then on the way up we did get fibs, but there was obviously no retest. So on the same, so at this time, which one was short? It was Nasdaq that was short. Nasdaq was short, but I want to see how the fib worked on both, on all of them. So this one's here. Actually, first one's here, and then the second one is here. This candle is even big enough for us to use the fib. It's okay. And then there's one here. It's not a bad one. It's okay. It's not the best, but it's not bad. and there was one here, but that one wasn't used. But that one lost. The lower you go with the drops, you want to use the higher candles. What I noticed, you want to use the higher candles. So in this case here, we won't be using this candle. We won't be using this candle. We'll be using just the higher one. So one, this one's too small. So 1, 2, and then 3. Well, and then there should be another here. But there's basically like I already have that. So we have this one, and we have this one. We have one here to that end, one to that end, and there should be one more to this end there. Some people call just those two candles that move, right? Alright, so price came, used this, he already used this fib, but it would have been better to use it on the Nasdaq. So again, was short on the NAS, right, and long on the ES. At these lows here, that's when we knew we're long on the ES, short on the NAS. So price coming in, structure 755. We have a low, we have a high. Price broke the high. We're obviously on an uptrend, higher high and low. We don't have a pullback, we have a base. Still looking for how to get in long on the ES. No opportunity to go long on ES. We have price forming this base here. You could have taken that trade, only that trade, for the break of the red line. That's why we're taking trade. Break of structure there, or break of the resistance there. But yeah, we're still long on the ES, where we're long on the SPY, and there was no real opportunity during this move, but you get this move. So you get this move. And coming into today, you can see there's bearish volume, so you can't just join in on the long. It's not like it's on an uptrend. And then there was stalling here. Expected price to come back down to this area, but when it came back, there was no reason for us to get in. But before it came back, there was a reason for us to join in short on the NAS there. So on the NAS there, and then 50 is just up here. Once it got 75, we put it at 50 as our stop loss, and then we're looking for 100, which we get at this candle, so we're out. And then looking for price to retest these points. So first is this. So I think you can only use this once. It probably be used once. And then there was this, right? So this will be used once for both of them likely. And then there was this. You could have tried going short there, but this, honestly, I wouldn't use this. I forgot there was this candle here, so forget about this once that's done. And then this one, like we said, let's stop looking at the lower ones, just look at the higher ones. And for long, you want to look at the lower ones, not look at the higher ones, right? So then we just have these 2 points for the fib. So by the time we could take that trade, it was end of day basically. But there was a short there. If you took that short, it worked. Took it right here, 25. You got in 25. Risking 25, you got 50. You got 50 at the end of the day. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. So that's the fib that worked there. I'm just checking out the fibs, and then during the time, you know that price was when price approaching this 50 on this 50 has already been used. My bad, 50 has already been used. Price pulled back, approaching this 50, and there was no trade on the Nasdaq for the short because we're shorting on NAS. and going long on the ES. On this pullback, there was no reason to go long either, but here it's not a bad reason to go long. Plus there was this base, so could have forced that long there, but oh well. Yeah, so this 50 is useless after this drop. And then so this 50 is useless after this drop. So when price is approaching, what? Go back. When price is approaching this 50, which is this whole thing, is that 50, and then this one is for this candle, and then this one is for these two candles. So we have this first 50 that price is approaching here. That was on this candle. Around the same time, price is approaching this 50. So that makes this short even better. So there you go. Because that's what I noticed today too. When price is approaching a fresh 50, you can even retake a used one. So this is a fresh 50 on the SPY. That price is approaching. It's not tested yet, and price is approaching a fresh 50 on the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq is where we're looking to short. So could easily take that short there. All right, so those are all the. Actually, let's just leave them. Okay, so alright, so we leave those ones. Those are the 50s we're using. We don't have the same dates on the crude oil, so forget about those for now. On this here, like, you want your moves to be clean. This is traded, kind of. This is basically traded, and there was this move here, so it makes this long good. And you want to be going long on the NAS, so we're going long here at that black candle, risking 25, looking for 50, but if you hit 75, then you stop at 50. But maybe you stop at break even on this one. And yeah, so we're going long on the NAS. Day starts here. Going long on the NAS. Literally at the moment we start trading here. Went long on the NAS, and then we're looking short on the ES, but there was no opportunities on the day. The day started here, and prior to that there was yes, this high, or unless there's a POC, probably a POC somewhere in here, but there is no short price action here. There's no bearish price action, so there'll be no reason to go in short there anyways. And then here price pulls back, probably that break even or profit. Price pulls back, you have this. So at this point we have low, lower, low, and high there, but the range is very small range. And then we get a pullback here. At this point we still want to trade long on the NAS and short on the ES. So wait, looking at this low, long on the NAS here, on the Nasdaq here, we go up, we barely break this candle, which is this for this. So by the time we get up here and we come down here, this candle goes way lower than and it breaks. So we're now long on the ES, short on the NAS. So since we're now long on the ES, short on the NAS, given that it's changed after we broke the lows, and you can see the structure is clear on the NAS that we are downtrending. So we'll be looking for short opportunities. First opportunity would be push back up to this area here, and then we get that double bearish sign, so we take the 25 there. Once we get 50, well, obviously break even, probably around here or break even, and then once we get 75, put our stop at 50 and look to get 100, right? That would have been it for that trade on the NAS. Question is whether or not you wanted to use the fib here. I say no, because you want there to be, when you're using your fib, you want it to have like not to be well traded. You see here, it was well traded already. It's almost like this move took this fib. So why are you using this again? This is just almost, it seems almost brand new volume, and like it just seems better. That candle seems better than all the other candles there. So if you even compare that to today, thinking back, yeah, there was drops, clean drops. Yep, only clean drops. Yep, clean drops. So this is not clean. There was a lot of trading to the left. Okay, so to use the fib, one, the move must be big. It must have uh, large volume, and price must have a clean chart to the left, like a enough space. So just about this space is enough to the left of this, right? That's why this is not. That's why we're like, do we really want to use this? If we started this here and just use this candle, then this is still fine, you know. And from here to here, so that means this is not there. This is there. This is now. This is now here. If that's the case. It's not here. If this is the case, this will be your entry. I think we used it because okay, it's clear. I don't know. I want to use it, so I'll use it. So yeah, so we keep going here. This is something you can use a fib on. Very clean, beautiful, long. Holy shit. I bet it was used. It may not have been used on this day, but I bet it was used. Do we get price pullback? Oh, we didn't get price pullback anytime soon. So, but yeah, this is a clean one. Probably have that drawn on in day, but probably not use it. But price tag from here. Funny enough, we had this date on the gold and crude oil, but now it's not there. It's up until Sunday or whatever. What's time? 4:20. Drink some more water. I gotta go work out soon. Alright, so this base here. Obviously, we're more bullish on the MES, so we're taking the SPY long and short on the Nasdaq, but there's no short opportunity. So this day there's also no fib. On this day here, there's no fib here. There is no fib here, barely went down. No fibs here, at least to me, because look at the back of it, it's still pretty much like if it continued, it would have been good, but it didn't continue, so we may use this. It does seem like people did use it though, but I don't want it. On the Nasdaq, it's not big enough. On the ES, it is big enough, but on the ES, it's big enough, but it's not what I want. Alright, so no fib here. No fib here. So at this point again, coming at 7:55, we know that is where you wanna go long from. There's a lot of buyers here, so the price came in to retest those buyers, pulled back. If you took the long here, you start to be in the trade, I think. Maybe not. But I think this is your entry here, but let's see which one it is. So up here, you're gonna go long on the NQ, not the ES. So down here, you wanna go still long on the NQ, short on the ES. That's what it was the whole day, it seems. Long on the NQ, short on the ES. So you're only looking for short opportunities on the ES. Price pushes up. Unless there was a POC, I don't see why we're going in shorts here. But we do have some kind of consolidation. We expect the price to continue. And then we get this volume. And then we get rejection. But there was no real entry for a short except for here. Here, honestly. Right there. But why are we going in short is the question. Why are we going in short? Right? So, first of all, this is the high, this is the low, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So why are we going in short? But that aside, all of this structure aside to an extent, the move up, there was a base here, yes. Secondly, honestly, I don't see why we're going in short. This move is not all. We didn't get up here. We got a nice rejection. We didn't get a black candle. Nah, I don't see why we're going in short using prior conviction. But using just the day structure, we're uptrending. So why are we going in short, right? Why are we going in short? So since we're looking for longs, and even if we went in short here, this candle would have told me to get out break even, and I'm out. I don't get the move regardless, even though the move does take profit. Still don't get it. But so because we broke this too. And price pulls back, finally gets some entry here long, but probably enter here long, risking 25, and then maybe add here again on this candle, maybe, because price would have pushed. If we got it on this candle, if we didn't get it, then we're getting in long here, right? And looking for 100, and we get 100. But if we didn't get in here, if we got in here and we get in here, we'll be break even. If we got in here, I don't think we'd even get in here. I don't think we get in here. Because yeah, this retested the base. I guess we can get in because this retested the base and it shows some strength, so you can expect continuation. So we get on that black candle again, risking 25, looking for 50 plus 100. Sorry, 50 plus. But then we get 75, stop loss at 50, looking for 100, we get 100. So we get 200 points on this. So each trade will make about $2 grand. That's $4 grand. on a trade. 4 grand on trade. And for the short, like I said, so if you even want to say, if you even want to say, forget the fact that structure is going up. Forget structure to an extent. Right? Let us trade. Um, let us. What is the reason we're going in short here? I mean, there's bearish price action. Price is losing steam. That was bearish price action. Not bearish volume, but just bearish price action. And prior, what is the drop? There's no drop. There's no real drop. The drop started from here. So if this is a drop, then could say if there was a black candle with volume and then a retest with that makes sense, like the one we saw on gold today, but there wasn't. It's pretty bullish. All right, move on. This here, as it came down, yes, this would have been a fib, but we didn't have enough move for me to use it. You see, this we continue to go down, so I'm not going to use it because it's already been used, but this is a good one. It's a good one. This, I'm not going to put the fib here because just look to the left. It's just trading past this. It's retaking the momentum, basically, as Rex would say, retaking the momentum. I just say it cancels out normally, but saying retaking the momentum is not a bad idea. But yeah, coming on in the day, we have the low here, high, lower low. So we're kind of downtrending on the day, structure wise. And which one are we using for the downtrend? It's going to be the NAS, short on the NAS. So we're waiting for the NAS to get back up here. We do break on the NAS. We didn't even go. There wasn't even much range, so there wasn't much range. So we're not even looking to take this trade yet. But first of all, what the hell is this? Damn. Well, we do get to the red line. Now we've gotten some move. We're very bearish on the way to the red line. What is the reason we're going short? Well, we filled the gap, so price has finally filled the gap. Gap was just here. We filled the gap. 1, 2. There was this drop before the gap, and 3. There's a red line. Assuming we don't take any of these, there was this candle, some bearish volume, and then there's no reason for us going short. And then here again, so we tried again, and we still are not making a new high. So on this candle, we can go in short. This particular candle, I don't mind going in short. I don't mind taking the risk on that candle. Prior to that, yes, unless there's a POC there, then sure. But prior to that, we gotta just wait for price to show us what it wants to do. Just like today, if we go to the volume today, I'll show you the red line today. We had the rejection, then we got volume, then we got this candle, and we are long on the ES today. We got this is a little bit more volume. This is good, very, very good price action. Then we got this volume, right? We got this volume. This is the real volume here. This blue one is the one I like. And then we got rejection, but we didn't get continuation. Then rejection here. Then a little bit, not much volume, but just a little bit. And so this is why we are entering here. I just missed that trade, unfortunately, but I did miss it. I did miss it. We didn't get any candles close below the red line too. So even though it tried to go lower, it just couldn't. And like I said, the trade was on the ES long because the Nasdaq was short today. So same thing here. We tried to go higher, rejected. Finally, a black candle with some volume. Again, rejection, very hard rejection. Then almost like a continuation. And then we tried to go higher, but we couldn't. Again, rejection. So, but we are not going to be trading. We're not going to be shorting on the ES. We're going to be shorting on the Nasdaq. But if you see this high here though, this high actually breaks this high here. Nah, if you look at the main high, which is this one, the ES weight goes a lot more. So we'll go long on the ES and short on the Nasdaq. So short right there on this candle close. Looking for, what's it called, 100. We get break even basically. But we're going long on the ES though. Would have gone in long here on the ES for this retest, because we're uptrending and price has come back to retest this. So long, looking for 20. We break even, and we know that we know it's very likely we're gonna break these highs, right? So we may as well just hold that, or we close and we re-enter. Like, it doesn't matter. We can with the re-entry, we could have been here when price came to try to regain its momentum, and so we could have re-entered on this candle after we retested it. It's very good, just like today's candle. It's a very good one too. So we could re-enter here 10, looking for another 20 here, and then we could re-enter here again on the red line, but that doesn't work. That one doesn't work. But something around this, so after this trade, when price comes and stops us, I'll break even on our short. You see here, these highs, price breaks on the Nasdaq, so we're going to have to switch to the long on the Nasdaq and hold and short on the ES from these highs here. So now long on the Nasdaq, short on the ES. So what's going to be, so then this trade here will actually be on the Nasdaq looking for 100. We get 50 instead, and then this trade also will be on the Nasdaq looking for 100, but I don't think we get 50 even on this one, because I don't think we reached 75. Yeah. Well, we may have closed our trade early because we're consolidating a lot. But the consolidation was very bullish though. Just the short just came from nowhere. But if we're gonna go short at any point, to be on Nasdaq, and even here we didn't see the short. We didn't see the short coming at all. But the volume to the upside was low volume, very low volume, very low volume. So, but yeah, no fib today. Next day, fib here for sure, for sure. Candles here. How do you? Yeah, fib here for sure, but let's just call it a loss. But there was no continuation. Like, if I came in on the day and I saw that this is the fib, I would just say there's no continuation on this candle. Like, okay, stop saying they like Michael. And we started from this blue candle here, put it at the close of this candle, given that there was no continuation. So there's a 50. If you got in on this candle, still not bad. The question is, which one are we going long in? I think we're going long on the Nasdaq actually. But by this time, 725. Oh, 725. We have to wait for 730 candle. So we are actually going in long on the, yeah, it was on the Nasdaq by 625, but after market opened, it seemed as though we'll be going in long on the ES, but price breaks this by the time we, like, this price action after market opens is not, it's not bullish, so we're not gonna get in hurriedly on this trade. We basically missed that trade, and then price pushes back down, breaks it, probably hits the 60.71 or something. Well, that's not what we're trying to trade off of. So at this point, we might as well wait for price to get around this area. We're still trying to go in long. So after this low here, So if you go to this high, we're on a downtrend. So we're long on the ES, short on the Nasdaq, and then on this low here, you'll see that we become long on the Nasdaq and short on the ES. So, but we're on a downtrend. So since we are short on the ES at this time, when price came back here, we could have taken this particular trade, just this one here, or we could have, yeah, given that there's a lot of rejection here, we could have taken this particular trade here, so, which is not bad at all. So if we took that trade, we're looking for 20, we get break even basically. Either break even or we hold the trade, one of the two, but yeah. And then we get a pushback, then we get a black candle, then we get a pushback again. At this point, we're now long on the Nasdaq. So we're now long on the, no, at this point we were long on the, shit. At this point we're long on the Nasdaq, so short on the ES. At this point we are still long on the Nasdaq and still short on the ES. Yeah, so lower highs. And look at structure high, low, lower high, same. So lower high pushes down, lower high pushes down, makes this a lower high. So we can see that we're obviously downtrending on, so trying to look for shorts. So we're trying to look for shorts, which basically trading the ES the whole time. Doesn't mean we won't take really clear longs, but ideally we're just trying to look for shorts. This is a good drop here. This is a good drop here. But this is the only candle that was good. Only this candle. So since we're short on the ES, we'll draw this on the ES. I mean, you can draw it on both. So we take it once. I believe we're short on ES, right? Look at this low. Yeah, I think we're short on the ES the whole time. Yeah, I think we're short on ES the whole time. Oh, looks like we become long on the ES. You look at this, I think we changed to short on the Nasdaq. So on the Nasdaq here, whatever, let's just first of all put this here. I think we become short on the Nasdaq because look at this low here. Oh, we don't. So this is low, right? And then as they both broke their candles, but you can see the Nasdaq seems to be pushing further down. And where do we find that? It's in this momentum. Since this one came and pushed basically almost to the low of this candle. This one came about the same, but the push back up, the ES broke the what's it called, open of the prior candle, and the Nasdaq couldn't. Okay, let's look at this push then. The ES is going higher than the Nasdaq. Yeah, so the ES is now long and the Nasdaq is now short. So when price approaching here, as price approaching this point here, what is the Nasdaq doing on this particular candle? Nasdaq is not approaching any short, so we're not going to take the short on the Nasdaq. We're not going to take the short on it. Since we're not in any trade, we may just take the short on the ES. Maybe, most likely not. But then, and then price pulls back again. This time around, coming back again to this point, we're thinking we'll break the high. We broke it a little bit, and this candle is very bearish. So on the next candle, we could definitely have taken that short on the Nasdaq at the 50%. But that's all the way at 1 o'clock. Oh, that's not bad. Looking for what's it called? Looking for 100, but we get 75, so we close at 50. It's not bad. So the trades would have been short here, short, probably short down, somewhere down here, because it's downtrending clearly. And then maybe go down here, like here. After I close below the risking 10, right? After I close below the red line for continuation. And then this is the 4,000. See, all the way back to once it closes below, it gets that continuation. We don't 4,000 is more like a bullish line. Stupid. But oh, we got some bearish price action from here. But the current price action on the 4,000 is very bullish. Whatever. So we get 1, 2, and 3 trades. And then on gold here, we just get what's the structure? So low, go from 630, high, low. You can call this a high, but once this happens, you can ignore this and call this the high, and then low. But it makes it a higher low, and then forms another. It breaks this high and makes a higher high. The break was obvious, so we'll take that. And there was no bearish price action. It did give us an entry for a short here, ends up breaking this low, and ends up breaking the whole low. So basically continuing, but barely. So I would not take that. This breaks clearly. This breaks barely. So I would not take that. So then we get a push. So let's say we take the short here, it pushes back up, and then we get this push here. Then at this momentum, maybe we can go in long, risking 0.5 right there. They're risking 5 right there, looking for 10. That would have been trade once this momentum came in, breaking this structure here. And then on crude oil, starting the day we have high, low, higher high. So we're obviously uptrending on crude oil, so we could just take that long right there, risking 0.5. Because on obvious uptrend, it seems to be a lot of buyers. It's not the best range. It's not the best range, but it's what we have for the day. It's not the best range for sure, but we could take that long there, risking 0.5, which is below current day's low, or current day's low, looking for 1 hour, which we get there. And then we form this base on the way. We may even get 1.5 if we wait a little bit, or we could hold, whatever. And then from this base, price retest this base, we get a little bit push here, but still uptrending, so we could always add there 0.5, looking for 1 hour again, or this could be a brand new trade. Yeah. So it's all of that. So next is this day here. There seems to be news. We have the low, high. By the time we come in at 7:30, we formed lower low and lower high at 7:30. But then 7:30 basically breaks this high, but that high is weak. So we'll call this low, high, low, and then by the time this breaks, we'll call this a high. Another. This will become the high here. The structure high there. And then so is there any fib? No, we don't have any fib really. This would probably this the left is this could have been, but it wasn't. Price was trading back in, it didn't continue. This could have been, but tries to trade back in, it didn't continue. So there was no fib on this day. But as for the normal trading, so we have the low, high, low. So this is a lower low, this is a lower high. So we're downtrending looking for shorts. So the question is, which one are we trading short? So it's the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is more short. So from this point here, we get the short. We don't get in short, but like we know that we're short now. We're waiting for a pullback to get in short. So we get a pullback at this point on the Nasdaq. Comes to retest this area here, where there's a lot of sellers. Right, we get the short, the pullback there, and then we take that short on the Nasdaq. That's one. But on that one, I think we get 50 because we probably get up to 75. No, we do not. But if we were taking 50, we would have made it. If we're not, then probably break even. That's a little annoying. What I've noticed is if he gets to 75, he gets 75. But if he gets like 60, 66 or 65, it gets to 75 kind of thing. So this does not get, this gets to 65. So I think we put our break our 50 point once we get 65 instead of 75. Maybe we get more because we don't mind taking that 2 hour instead. It doesn't have to be break even all the time, you know, because that should be painful. But it also be a little bit painful, not as painful, but a little bit painful if we end up if price goes in that direction and then we stop out at 50 and we get all the way to 100, be a little bit painful too. Well, anyway, there was this trade and then there was a pullback, so now there's this high. So we have the lower high here and lower low here, and then price is pulling back. We already used this area, so we're waiting for price to pull back this area again for another short per se. But I don't like using things twice. You get me? I don't like using things twice. So I would not use this point. So if price is pulling back, I would expect price to actually go and retest this area. This area up here on the Nasdaq, which would mean price will go and retest this high up here. And if so, now the question is which one is short, which one is long. At this point we're short on the Nasdaq, right? Because yeah, at this point we're short on the Nasdaq. And at this point here, we are still short on the Nasdaq. And then we are still short on that. So we're still short on that and long on the ES. There was no long opportunity, and plus structure is short, so there's no need for us to be going long unless there was a POC somewhere here. And okay, and then there was so there was no long, so we're looking for a short. Price comes up here. We do expect price to come to this area, right? Expect price comes to this area. Ideally this high, but so this area, this is technically where we want price to come to because there's this base here, but ignoring that base because we didn't start at 630. Oh, we started at 630. Yeah, so this base is there. So we have this high. I even thought we started. So we started from. So we have this high, right? This high here. This low. So structure high, low, high, higher, high, or high, low, lower, low. You could call this this is a base. So I'd rather call this the high. No, you could just call this the high, whatever. So lower low, but we know from here that price is on a downtrend. We'll get the move from here. Forget about this, guys. So where's the next? We have this point for price to go short from. Price on a downtrend. Next point will be here, the base. So here, this particular point here, ideally. So we'll have to wait for that point, not here. I thought this was where price started, but it's actually here. Okay, you go to the ES. Where is the high? So we have the high here. Is one high. We have the second high. There was no high here, but so at this point we knew we're on a down. There was a high here, right? So this is the high we expect price to come to, and if you look at the counterpart, it would be this point here. So when price comes here, we get a nice rejection. That's when we go in short again. There was no opportunity to go in long, but after this move, obviously structures from this point here. After price breaks this high that price formed on Nasdaq, structure has kind of shifted, and but it didn't shift on the on the ES. It shifted on the Nasdaq, right? So we had the shift of structure on the Nasdaq here. So we could have taken this long here because now we're expecting price to come up there. So we could have taken it long here. here, but we will not obviously take profits, and that's fine. We'll just probably have to close our trade, break even, or close the trade once we get in short here, because we're bearish on the day still. So this break of structure is something for sure. There was a base that formed at this point. We could argue that now the Nasdaq is long and the ES is short. We could argue that. Remember, we don't take things from the consolidation, so fuck it. So at this point, we argue that the Nasdaq is short, the ES is the Nasdaq is long, the ES is short, right? Because this is the extreme here. So nope, the ES went up higher on this particular candle. But compare that to the lows. I mean, the structure high was this point here. So this is the high here. Did we break? No. Did we break on the Nasdaq? No. Compare that to the prior lows. Well, we went up. Do we break this one here? Can't use that really. So we'll just use this low, this high here. I'll still just say the ES is long, Nasdaq is short. So we'll just stick to the Nasdaq being short there. And then what's it called? I mean, I guess you could say that. Yeah, I guess you could say at this point, the Nasdaq is moving up more, so the Nasdaq is now long, the ES is short. So we will not take the short here. We did expect price to come and retest here, so we'll still take the short here. The short will be on the ES, and we'll be looking for 20, which we get 20 still. It's not as though we didn't get the trade. It's just I think the shift was actually in here, but we don't want to take it inside the consolidation too. And if we took that shift, the long there, looking for 100, we didn't get. We got 65, so we got 50, which is fine. Well, around the same time, what is the gold doing? Well, price started from here. Structure, we have high, low, lower, lower, low. Call this the lower high, but it's kind of iffy. This is not necessarily high, so we have the high, low, lower, low. So we're looking for a short. So price coming in here, we'll be watching to see if we get any entry short. There was this right there, but That's iffy too. So, but you could have taken that. We didn't have volume to the upside though. There was no fib. There was no fib here either. So could have taken this one. Risking 5 right there. Call that black hand on doji prior. Looking for 10. Not quite get 10. There was no change in structure. When I was showing, I used to put this until we like this is where the high is. We got a high here, we got a low here. Just to know where, just visual representation, right? We have a low here, and then we have there's a low here. You know what? Maybe I can just start doing this. So maybe I can just start. So we have a low, high. Oh, not that one. This low, high, low, high. This is gonna be annoying. We check the line chart. It's easier to an extent. To an extent. So we have the low, high, higher low. Then we have a lower low here. Obvious lower low here. But this is our high here, so we have a low, lower low, high here. So low, high, 630 here. So low, high, lower low, high there. And then lower, and then this is basically double bottom, but makes it lower low eventually. It's kind of easier to tell on the line chart what the structure is. You ignore all the wicks and stuff. So low, high, low, high, low, low here, high. So low, high, low, high. But we'll just do it with the candlestick still. Because the range includes, the line chart does not include the low and the highs. The range includes the low and the highs. Will that tell me whether there's range on the chart or not? But yeah, so it's on a downtrend, last on a downtrend, and so when it came to retest, just looking for opportunities to get in short. There's a black candle here. There was a rejection here. You could have gone in short if you wanted here, because this didn't break the high, so you could have gone in short here. Risking 5. I'm looking for 10. You still didn't get 10 regardless, but there was no volume to this push. There was no volume to this push, no volume to this push. Now we finally get volume push to the downside, which is good for us. But yeah, and then on crude oil, 630 is all the way back there. So you have this base basically. You have a low, a high, higher low. Break is not that clean, to be honest. Not that much. And even if you say it's a higher low, sure, you could easily take a long here and maybe you lose. Let's see. I think you lose though. So risking 0.5. Yeah, so you lose. But that's fine. It happens. But it's not more your thing. How much do you want price to break a high or a low before you say it's broken that high or low? Like how much do you want price to move away from the high or low? It's not a personal thing. Not a very personal thing. It's not a very personal thing. I just had a clear break here. Like obviously uptrending. Whatever. this had a clear break, at least to me, on this candle. This was a high, this was a low, this was a high. So this broke this high quite well, as much as this broke all of these highs. So at this point, we kind of came into a downtrend. This is more, we felt like price was going to retest higher, but at this point we kind of came into we kind of stopped the downtrend. We didn't come into an uptrend, we just stopped the downtrend. Now we need price to make a higher high. But if we're still going to take a long, at the very least we want to take a long around these lows here. So maybe here, or maybe, but not even here. This was a very nice volume to the downside, so you want to give it some time. Maybe not even here. Probably just take a long here, try and see if price doesn't want to hold it, right? Because you're on a downtrend, so be careful when you're going long, kind of thing. And you want to go long on the commodity that's uptrending. So in this case, at this time, you'll want to go long on the Nasdaq. But after this momentum, you'll be very, very careful, because price did not turn to an uptrend. It just stopped the downtrend. That's all it is. It stopped the downtrend, but it did not become uptrending yet. At this point, the downtrend stopped. It had not yet become an uptrend. So price still needed to form the uptrend structure. So at this point, we had a low and we had a high. It's just a base. So when price can retest the lows, so around this area here, so you took the long here, let's say you took that long here, obviously you get stopped out, so you're risking 25, right? You get stopped out, but why would you be foolish enough to hold your long through? Like, you see this volume, this cancels it, yes, but then this volume at the end here at 1 o'clock, don't hold your long through that. But if you did, things happen, it's fine. And even at that, like, once you get in here, price should kind of be going. Like, why is price breaking this low? Okay, price comes down again, and then sure, there's the volume there, but look at the candles are not very. And if you look at it more on the ES, even may even be better for you. So pretty bullish price action. We had the volume there, pushes down, but with more rejection. But on the Nasdaq, it's less rejection though, and then pushes up with rejection, and this volume and price. And look at this volume here. It's going down, not much volume to the downside. But on Nasdaq, price is, so like, look at, we kind of even switched on. So price is even going higher on the ES than on the Nasdaq at this time here. So are you really trading the commodity? Yeah. So if you had wanted to avoid this here, first of all, if you waited for price to come around this area, let's say you took the long on this candle here, long on this candle in Nasdaq, risking 10, right? You would have not gotten stopped at any point. You'd have been able to stop at break even. That, all of that aside, yeah, all of that aside, I think we just stick to that end of. So it's at this point that Nasdaq. No, even at this point, did we break? So for this move up, we broke this candle here. We broke these candles and we broke this candle. Nah. So that means the Nasdaq is a long one then. I don't know. It was very clear that Nasdaq was short around all of these times, and these were fresh lows that were made. These are older highs, right? So the new highs that were made, like at this point, these highs are old. So these new highs that are made here, right, is what we should use to check which one is going up more. So they both went up the same. Basically, if you use just these highs, they both went up the same, right? So in that case, then ES should remain the long one. ES should remain the one that's long, while Nasdaq remains a short. So in that case, if you're taking this here short, you would have made 100. Oh no, you probably get stopped out at 50. So if you got in here short, 65 is here, 50 is here. So yeah, you got stopped out at 50 around this consolidation, and then it continues to the downside, and that's fine. During when you got when you get stopped out, before that happens, you would have taken the long here on this candle. No, I can't just accept that because ES moving. Nasdaq moved a lot more than ES during this move, and Nasdaq dropped a lot more. So you could have gone in short, and then once this high happens, before this high even happens, once this consolidation happens, you could see that the Nasdaq is more bullish than the ES. But it really changed at the end of the consolidation. Price really moved up after this, and here price really moved up here too. Yeah, I'd say short on the ES and long on the Nasdaq. So this would be long here, either here or here. But if we took the long here, we would see that price. We wouldn't take the long because we would, because price barely broke the low. So we'll take it long here, and then risking 25. And then after this black candle, I'll probably be getting out on the trade because price has not broken this low again, and so that's not very bullish anymore. All right, we don't want one there, and then I'm gonna go work out. Oh, this is where we stopped. Oh, on this one, you see, this is fib right there. Clean, clear, very obvious. That's a fib right there. It did push down a little bit, but it had not used the 50s yet. So this is the 50 there on that fib, and on here is this candle. Obviously, I believe the Nasdaq is the long one, right? So let's see. Yeah, Nasdaq is the long one at that point. So should have been going in long at this candle, or going in long. Yeah, this is it. So when price was pulling back, could have gone in long here at this candle, looking for a move, reaching 25, which is very close to the low of this candle, and then looking for a move up to, so you get 50, right? But and then we came to retest the lows, but it was at 110, and if you took that trade risking 10, you didn't get stopped out and you got 20. Literally at end of day, you basically got 20 right there. So that would have been the fib trade on this day. The normal trade is well, there's no volume on. Yeah, there's no volume at 6:30. So starting at 7:55, structure high, low high, higher low, we push up. We don't know what price wants to do, so at this point we know we're long. If you want to go long, you want to go long on the Nasdaq, right? So that's what we know. And 7:55, we know that there's a price was downtrending, but we don't care about that. The current day's structure is low, high, higher low, because at 8 we got a push up, so we'd assume it's a higher low, and we're assuming we're on an uptrend, right? That's what's going to happen. And then price breaks the high, so higher high. So we expect a pullback here to get in on long for the Nasdaq, because that's what we're going in long at, the Nasdaq. So on the Nasdaq, this is not a very clean trade. On the ES, it was when price pulled back here. So we volume comes in, we can go in there at that candle there. But the prior candle was also not very good, so maybe we go in on this candle. Because we're waiting for a black candle, we don't get a black candle, probably have to go in on this candle here, this particular one, because the next one was blue too. So going on that candle there, risking 25, looking for 100. At 65, we are breaking even at 50, we get 100. No, so at 65, we're breaking at 50. At 95, we're breaking even at 75, obviously. But yeah, so we barely miss 100, we get 75. We get 3R, which is fine. And then we get a pullback to the 50, and so we retake that trade, and again we get, so when we get to 90, do we get to 90s? We don't get to 90s. So stop at probably stop at maybe once we get to 90, we'll stop at 75. So 90 will stop at 75. Yeah, I think that'll be the case. So did we get to 90 there? So stop at 75 at 90. Yep, we got to 90, so stop at 75. So 3R on that trade. And we're short on the ES, but there is no short opportunity. When we got to the red line around this area, there was no real short. We were in breaking above, but there was no real short opportunity. So we're looking for price to pull back and continue, and which it did. So then we get to this area here. This area, however, does have one. Oh, but this is not within the day, because there was a fib that we could have drawn from here to here. Probably lines up with this. Well, so we're still uptrending on the day. We're not really looking for any sells. Volume is coming to the downside, and then we close below at this candle here. Very nice volume. Close below the red line at this candle here. Could have taken that trade on the ES, risking 10, looking for 20, but it's up to how I feel, I guess, at that exact, because we're still uptrending. So ideally, we would actually just want price to come down to this 50s. So maybe we'll take a trade. Maybe we will take a trade right here, or maybe wait for the next candle. So wait for the next candle, take a trade right here, and when we get to the 50s, we close and go. We don't even close. We just hold the trade, and then we go long. No, because we're not going long on the ES. We're going long on the NQ. So we can't take this trade. But during the time that price coming to this line here, and here, so between from this candle, price approaching this base on the NQ, right? So on this candle here, since the base would have to wait for today's on, what do? Today's on, we got in at the low, at the high, like to us. When price was approaching, so on the second time, price was approaching the 50, the new 50 on the ES, at this candle here, and price was rejecting. So I was saying we should get in on the trade the high. So in this case, price approaching the new 50 on the ES. We've already used this one. We're not going to use it again. So I say we get in on the low, literally the low right there of the ES. That's where we'll put our order to fill. That's what I think. So, but I'm just coming up with that. It's not what I use yet. So if we put our order right there at the low, risking 25, what do we get? Close at 75, which is not bad. So 3. No, we close at 50, I think, because it goes up 65 and then pulls back down to 50. Yeah, we close at 50. So 2R, which is not bad. Because we're long on the NQ and short on the ES. So could take this short, or we can't take this. We can't take this long on the ES. Because if we did take it on ES, we still won. Right, and on gold, what was the trade like? So starting from 755. Consolidation, we don't really have any range on the day yet. Well, pretty nice consolidation, pretty bullish consolidation. Price goes up, so now we know we're trading up. Wait for a pullback. No long entries. We consolidate and then we get a push down to the downside. Obviously, people see that, but we know at this point we're basically high, low. Basically, this is a low, high, low, and then lower low. So we know at this point we're looking for a short, so we'll wait for price to get to this area, but there was no short entry here. Probably take this long down there or down here, because price was consolidating right at the base. So take this long, but we're still looking for price to get here so we can go short. Well, we still didn't get any short entries. The trade to the end of the day. And then for this one, it was consolidating still, and consolidated, broke it formed like it was gonna break to the downside. This was cleaner, it was flat. I like the flat breakouts. This was more thick, right? So it was a little, you could have forced the trade here, then you'd have lost, and that's fine. But after this candle, you probably want to get the out, but you didn't get a chance to get out if you took the trade here. But that's why I like a trade that it actually has this type of candle within the base, so we can break out on the next candle. If it breaks the base, see, like this one is flat. That's why I say it's flat. It had the candle within the base, and it's double candle, one here, one here. So if we break out, we will break out of the base and have a thick candle out of the base, just like today on crude oil still. So we're reaching 0.5, looking for one. We get one there. If we end up holding, probably not hold. But there was an opportunity to hold for two, but we're looking for one really. And obviously we're downtrending on crude oil. So ideally we're looking for shorts. So next trade would have been when price came to this base here, taking this short here. Probably have to close to the end of the day because price will probably not give us one, which is what we're looking for. Almost. So we may just have closed our trade around there. But yeah. So there was a better trade. There was a trade here. If you didn't take this, there's still a trade here. Because this had more range to it, right? This had more range to it. That's why we're picking this one. Well, we knew we're downtrending on the day, so we're still looking for a pushback up, give us a downtrend. But there was no range to this, so maybe up here eventually. Price had a lot of rejection here, so could have taken this one, risking 0.5. You still didn't get stopped out, but you get less profit unless you added there. If you had added there, that would have been better. But Probably if you took this one, you probably don't want to add. That's just the way it is sometimes. And then yeah, so we have this one. There was no long opportunity. I guess maybe this volume here, but honestly, with this short, there's like this should not be happening after a base like this happens. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense now. So no trades up until probably this point here, but maybe not even. So up until we get here, and there's still no trade. So there may have been no trades on the day on gold. It is that simple. But there's trades on crude oil, there's longs on Nasdaq, then there's a short, one short on ES, because we had very bearish, and then boom, volume to the downside at 12:05. And I don't like to take it on the candle itself, the volume, because we could easily have gotten volume pushing back up, but this one had very nice rejection. If this had closed below, it would have given more conviction. So I may have not actually taken it, probably just wait for the one that closed below, then take that volume, and then look for 20. Probably not get to 20 because it's literally right. May have gotten it though, but yeah. And then we'll be looking for the long at the low, because that the time, what's it called, at this point we've already used this one, so I don't know how to explain it, but what is the low closest to that we can use on the Nasdaq, basically, because we're only going long on the Nasdaq, right? So, but we could decide not to put in an order there. It just it's like the reason why I put the low there is if you get in on the low, how much, because we're uptrending, so how much can price break from that low, kind of thing. That's the idea of the whole thing. Like, how much can price break away from the low, given that we're uptrending? So if you got in on the Nasdaq without any reference on this candle, just because it touched this candle, then you would have lost your trade. That's all it is. Alright, so we'll come back and continue these things. I'm gonna go work out.